Welcome back into Good Morning Quad Cities. We're off to a cold start this morning, but it does look like we're going to make a nice turnaround into the afternoon hours, and that's going to be thanks to a mostly sunny sky. Finally going to get the chance to dry out a little bit today, and a lot of us certainly needing that after some really impressive rains falling across much of the region yesterday. A lot of you made that 2-inch plus list, and even a few of you seeing more than 4 inches of rain. Not the case this morning. We are dry, which is good news for your commute there. Also a live look at the Mississippi River here and both I-74 bridges. We're in good shape so far for that commute this morning. We're going to be watching what happens with this rainfall deficit, because this has really been cut down significantly thanks to a very wet October. 3 weeks ago, if you looked at the deficit in terms of that moisture for the entire year, 2021, we were about 3.5 inches behind where we needed to be. Not a huge number, but it certainly is meaningful when you head into the fall and winter months when you need as much moisture in the ground as possible. Well, look what happened. We added some 2.5 inches of rain here just in the month of October alone, and that has really cut down the deficit. Now just a little bit more than an inch, and it looks like that's where we're going to kind of hang around here as we get towards the end of the month here, wrapping it up in just a few days. So certainly a much better spot compared to where we were earlier in the month in terms of our moisture. Temperatures this morning awfully chilly. We're in the mid-30s here, but go to Galesburg, you've now sneaked below the freezing mark. So very frosty, I'm sure, in many of our hometowns this morning. Now, the fact that October has also been so warm, too, we have not seen these colder temperatures arrive until just recently. And most likely this month of the October as a whole, temperature-wise, is going to be easily in the top 5 warmest Octobers we've seen here in Quad City weather history. But because of all that warmth, it's actually delayed the fall color, the peak of it. We should have seen this about 2 weeks ago, so we're about 2 to 3 weeks behind. This is where we are right now, and typically the peak is about October 15th. So we're far removed from that, and there's actually a consequence to this too, and the fact that the trees really haven't lost the majority of their leaves yet. A lot of them still intact with the fall foliage full foliage rather still attached to the tree. Now we're going to get to the point of year where we'll see a lot more wind. We've got big temperature swings coming in. That's big changes in pressure. That drives more windy days. So the more leaves you have on the trees this time of year, that's more weight that gets moved around and blown around with those stronger winds. It's also easier to create power outages too. You don't need a severe storm to roll through here with winds of 60, 70 miles an hour. All it takes are strong winds like 30, 40 miles an hour like we saw yesterday to create some of those power outages. So we'll be watching that scenario too carefully. Our next storm system is going to bring some showers for Thursday. It's currently moving through the Rockies. We'll stay dry today, mostly sunny skies and highs in the upper 50s. Far removed from where we were yesterday, an awfully chilly day. Not as cold tonight as we increase the clouds, perhaps an isolated shower or sprinkle, but I think the rain is going to be holding off until Thursday. Here you see tomorrow that rain trying to move further east, but a strong easterly wind will eat away at that. It's a dry wind, and we'll still see a little bit of warmth tomorrow too, with temperatures back into the upper 50s. Outside right now, 37 in Davenport, 35 in Moline. Thankfully, not a whole lot of wind to knock that feels like temperature down too bad. It'll stay in the 50s here for the next several days. As we kick off Boo at the Zoo on Saturday, that continues throughout the whole weekend. Absolutely gorgeous. So come on out to Niabi Zoo. No excuse not to be out there to enjoy some of the festivities. Of course, a lot of candy for the kids and plenty of warmth too as we keep temperatures in the 60s and upper 50s. Much colder though by next week, and still looks like a hard freeze is on schedule then.